Previously on Real Comic Heroes.
Oh, you have to buy it?
You have to buy it straight out. So I had to go to a video store like a savage.
Is it R5D4, I think is the red.
Just say the red one.
Lord of the Rings universe.
That's what I'm in. I don't follow any of that stuff.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, we'll stop talking about it.
Yeah, but what a nerd. Am I right, Rory? I don't know. I saw a episode of Mythbusters.
Okay.
Where they discussed the whole swinging
aspect. I just watched that one too.
Okay. So I kind of found it fun to watch that now, having seen that it can actually work.
Yeah.
Because when I first saw it, I was like, that's like a fishing line. How is that? Like, it looked so... And, like, the hook itself was, like, super tiny, and I was like,
yeah.
But I guess it can hold up, technically.
They proved that based on this, the specs that were kind of shown, that grappling hook and cable would hold up two people.
Yeah.
But they said the pressure or the...
it would hurt. Like
it would
crush some
really
ribs.
hurt you because that's only connected to your belt, and that's not a good
and the belt would ride up and crush your ribs a little bit. But I saw that scene. I was like, hey, Mythbusters.
And it's like the swinging across the trench is always one of those the music swells and it's played for a big hero moment. But it's like, you kind of look at it, it's like, it's not that impressive,
No.
That,
and I never understood why the troopers didn't shoot their feet.
I always think that, too. Yeah.
Or at least grab them.
Or grab them,
Is that, considered poor sportsmanship?
Yeah,
Not sporting?
Hey, man, not cool. You shot their feet off.
Now he's going to have robot feet and be way faster.
What if they had stunned their feet?
Oh, yeah.
And maybe they're just falling down the hole.
Just flop around like fish.
They're going straight down that big hole.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, pins and needles. Ah! And credits.
Yep. End of movie. I love the Vader Obi-Wan fight.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's one of those that I remember watching as a kid, never being impressed with it, especially
I'm still not impressed.
Well, especially after getting the awesome fights that we do get in the prequels, and then returning to this, I always thought, man, it's so wooden and not very.
Well, we've seen them fight now, previously,
but now rewatching A New Hope, there's more action to the fight than I remember. It's actually, for me, holds up.
Yeah, me too. And I feel like it's more tense than a lot of the battles in the prequels, because they feel like they don't have a lot of weight to them, and this really does. It feels...
Yeah.
The circle is now complete. When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.
Only a master of evil, Darth.
Your powers are weak, old man.
You can't win, Darth. If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
Ben?
There's more at stake here than people flipping about and...
Mm-hmm. And because this is our only example of lightsaber combat in the movie, but I think as I'm now older, it holds up better than it did when around the time the prequels came out, for me anyways.
Yeah, see, when I see it, I see them, it almost looks like a dance sequence. They're like, and thrust, and parry, and thrust, and parry.
Yeah.
But I try to justify it by saying that they're so powerful that they don't have to flip around and do that crap anymore.
Sure.
That they've minimized it to where it only needs, it's so powerful and it just maybe looks slow and boring, but it's actually two massive powers clashing.
Yeah, and really Obi-Wan is just killing time, or just, providing that distraction to let Luke and the gang,
because he's going to meditate himself into laundry before he gets struck down, or I don't know. I still don't get that part. He does a weird ninja disappearance sign, and then Darth swings and hits his clothes, and I don't know if he actually hits him or what the sequence is that brings him into the Force cloud. Like, it's Obi-Wan in the cloud now. Like, just randomly downloading into Luke's head.
And it's as simple as Obi-Wan enters and becomes part of the Force.
Yeah.
You know.
But I don't know if it's because Darth hit him.
Yes.
Is it?
Well, at the moment of his death, he becomes part of the Force.
Okay, so it strikes him, he turns into vapor and Force material or whatever.
Yeah. That's how I always read it. What about you, Rory?
I always thought that he did it himself.
That's what I thought.
He sort of willed himself into the Force rather than being killed.
Because he does that weird hand thing, like where he points up.
Well, I think he's just raising his lightsaber.
Oh, it looks like a ninja move to me, like like a hand signal.
I always see that as he's not necessarily saying a prayer, but he's like, you know, meditating.
Yeah.
You know, just...
So he meditated himself into the Force.
Yeah.
Okay. But as a kid, it still looked like he turned into laundry.
Yeah, I mean, effect-wise, it's not awesome. But it is, it's...
Because I'm like, I know you can lose limbs.
Sure.
Like with a lightsaber, so you must have to reach some level where you can just evaporate into the Force or something.
Had Luke been struck down, he would have just been killed. You know, he would have just taken But I think, once you become a Jedi Master, become one with the Force, you know, you
had 20 years in a cave to get all meditative.
Yeah. So, you guys are probably right. Like, he's willing himself into the Force rather than just being killed. So.
I think the part that confuses people is the line that if you strike me down now, I'll become more powerful than you can imagine.
I love that one. That's a great thing to say in a fight.
Yeah,
that would creep me out too. Like, wait, what? Well, then go away then. I don't want to make you more powerful.
Well, I'm trying to think. Anakin's never experienced someone becoming part of the Force.
Well, no one has, apart from Qui-Gon Jinn.
Right. So he wouldn't have any. This would have been new to him. Like that's why it's surprising to. I hate the kicking the robes with his feet, or like I hate that.
Where
scene.
Does he?
He's like looking for a shrunken Obi-Wan that's like,
let me just crush him by stepping on him now.
It's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids or something.
Yeah.
What was it? I'm gonna try next time I'm held up, getting mugged. I'll say,
if you strike me down.
I'll see how it goes.
Okay.
I'll let you guys
report
know.
back.
Local man found dead and died. Claimed to become more powerful if you struck him down. We'll find out at 11.
Or at 11.
You just turn into a pile of clothes.
Yeah. So my next note is losing Ben is a real bummer.
Yeah.
Because everyone, even the droids are like very sad and
I mean,
but it's effective. Like,
Luke, he just lost his aunt and uncle.
He loses everybody.
Well, lost his aunt and uncle, never mentioned that again, but he grieves over Ben for quite a while.
Yeah.
That is weird.
Yeah, they don't dwell on him losing his family.
I always wondered if Darth was pissed that they killed his brother.
No, I don't think he ever cared anything about Owen. I mean, based on how we see in Attack of the Clones, like he barely even acknowledges Owen and his extended family, I guess, stepbrother. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see. I always wonder about that now, knowing what we know, because in the beginning they're circling essentially the planet Tatooine, and I always wonder what's going through Vader's mind. Like, oh, I was born there. It's just, is he so disconnected to that planet and everything that he went through?
I'm guessing that's why they hid Luke there, because they figured he'd never want to go back.
Yeah, that's definitely the reason. But just now, obviously, post prequels, it's weird that the movie starts around his home planet and that he has no. I mean,
it's a circle of life.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lion King.
Let's see. I do like the TIE fighter fight. I mean, that's a nice action scene where we get to see Han and Luke, shooting down TIE fighters.
That's one of my favorite pieces of music as well.
Oh yeah.
the music throughout holds up.
Yeah, that's why I haven't even talked about it much, because it's so well done that it transcends kind of the movie itself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, I could hear the music and know...
Exactly, yeah.
Like, I could visualize the area of the movie.
Yeah. But the TIE Fighter fight scene, or dogfight, it's helped a lot by the editing and the music, because there's a lot of... and I noticed it kind of during this rewatch, when the Millennium Falcon gets hit, the shaky cam, like when they literally just move the frame left and right really fast. And it doesn't hold up the best. And there's some other scenes, like some of the little explosions you get, and some of the...
You can see like a square cutout of the TIE Fighters as they go.
I didn't notice that as much. I think on the Blu-ray, it's seamless. They've really corrected a lot of that cropping, or that matting that you get on some of the ships. But yeah, I know what you're talking about, though. I've seen that in some of the other editions.
I mean, I forgive that.
Oh, yeah.
But because it's pulled off so well. Like, I love I always like that part with where they sit in the gunnery.
Yeah.
Like, just like... It's just so awesome.
Yeah.
I love that part. Like, just the action of them swiveling.
Yeah.
Like, so dramatically. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. I just enjoy that scene like crazy.
It holds up, yeah. So that should be the end of Act 2, now that they've, kind of once they've defeated the couple TIE Fighters that are tailing them, we get the Tarkin, explaining asking if what tracking device was installed or whatever. So
they get to, I didn't remember the Rebel base being like an ancient pyramid. Or whatever it was.
The Massassi Temple.
Yep. Holy shit. I'm serious? What the Massassi Temple.
Yeah, it's the real location. It's like it was shot in Guatemala, so it's like an actual pyramid, like ancient temple, ancient.
I just thought it was cool because it was like ancient, sort of like
it looks
the Jedi are scene, and they're sort of trying to. Well, I don't know if their mission is to bring back the Jedi, really, but
I want to say. Like in the expanded universe, that temple was an old Sith temple.
Oh, really?
So they're actually using an old Sith place as a. I think I might be wrong about that, but
I don't know about that one.
So yeah, Act 3, we get they meet up with the rebellion, and this is probably the only part where the movie really slows down for me.
Yeah.
The planning and it's cool to see X-wings and stuff, but. Just the hangar scene doesn't really hold up incredibly well, but...
The weird forced conversation with Luke and his friend. Like, it was so cheesy sounding.
What do you mean?
Like, when he finds that guy that he knew.
Biggs.
Yeah, that guy. And they start talking about the old days and this and that.
Oh.
Like, it just feels cheesy and, like the acting's really bad to me.
Sure.
So I don't know if it's because of the mustache, but he looks about 10 years older than Luke.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one of those, like, you see in one of the deleted scenes, it's on the Blu-ray and everything, you get a scene earlier in the movie where you get to see Biggs, and he explains to Luke, like, hey, I'm thinking about ditching the
Academy.
Well, the Academy, he's going to leave the Empire and join the Rebellion. Yeah. And that's kind of when Luke last sees Biggs. And so we actually see that scene in the deleted scenes. So I think this scene in the hangar is supposed to have more weight.
Yeah, because it meant nothing to me.
Impact. Yeah. But I do like that. I mean, it's just setting up another connection that Luke has that he'll later lose, Yeah,
I wrote that down. I was like, okay, we're going to talk to this guy so he can die now.
Yeah. But I like that he vouches for Luke with...
oh, yeah. He's got a name.
He does, and that's one I don't know. But he vouches for Luke and says he's the best. What's that?
Red Leader, doesn't it?
Red Leader, yeah.
You mean Commander Farlar? That was a pretty good one.
Yeah,
Commander
that works.
Farlar.
It's probably used somewhere.
Probably. Yeah, I got lost in the whole, like, who is who once the battle commenced with the X-Wings and the Death Star. I was like...
now, this is one, like, spot that the special edition, the addition of seeing the X-Wings like leaving the planet or in space, like that scene works for me. It kind of holds up. You can tell it's CG and it's
like where the wings open up to the X.
I think
shape?
that's practical.
Okay,
but I just mean when you see the big red planet and you see all the X-Wings flying in front of it, that's special edition. But that one's always held up for me.
I didn't even notice it.
Yeah. Let's see. So, is there anything to talk about as far as on the Rebel base leading up to the attack on the Death Star?
I do like that they've analyzed the attack and they're like, oh crap, we left this giant hole open.
Hey,
they can.
I mean, you got to have those thermal exhaust ports. I mean,
put like a cage around the damn thing.
Yeah, it solved a lot of problems.
What's that?
That would have solved a lot of problems. Just a lot of great, or just
put a little force field on it.
Yeah, force field. They have that technology.
Yeah. No joke. It's weird that they're like, and it's just one port, or are there many? It seems odd that there's just one.
I don't know. I would assume there are many.
Big ass space.
Yeah, and that's part of the Empire's. They never worry about the small.
Yeah.
They're so confident, so big and powerful. They never worry about the.
Oh, they're so big that.
They don't notice the small details or the small weaknesses or whatever.
I always pictured that there's like some Empire engineer finds out that this is the plan, and then
he's dead.
He's got this extra piece. He didn't know where it went to. He just chucks it in the compactor. He's like, "No."
Nice. See,
like,
now,
this is awkward.
I think you just created your first bit of headcanon. Yeah. I like that.
It's an awesome scene. He's just kicking it under his bed. Like,
what was I supposed to do today? Install some kind of force field over the thermal exhaust port?
There's always an extra piece when you put something together.
Yeah.
The inside of the temple, I think, looks a lot like a Bond villain lair special. There's little trucks to drive a bit in. Have little ball helmets. I always think that looks a bit James Bond-esque.
A little bit, yeah. If it had been a monorail, then it would have been for sure a Bond villain lair.
That is a good call.
Yeah.
Even like the table that they're all looking at in the planning area is Bond-esque.
Yeah.
I guess I never pay attention to it.
Oh, okay. Like in Bond, they had like tables with miniatures or like a elaborate lair that transformed.
Yeah, Goldfinger.
Yeah, and they had a table like that where they did their planning.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess I think I noticed the kind of the digital display of showing where the planet is in alignment with
because they have that big circular table. They were all like looking around. But
I guess never.
They don't really get a good shot of it. But
yeah. One thing that bugs me is when they keep cutting back to the Death Star and they show that the planet Yavin will be in alignment in 30 minutes. It starts out at 30 minutes.
Yeah. And
then on screen you see a little 30, the timing countdown. But then they cut back to it again, and it's like on screen it shows 19 minutes, or they say 19 minutes, but the screen shows 7 minutes, and then they cut back to it later, and it's like 12 minutes, and then you see 3 minutes on the time. So that's one little spot where it's like, it's easy to overlook, but it's there.
There's one part I need explanation on, and maybe you, your collective nerdism, can help me out here. Why the hell does Darth Vader have to turn that little tiny knob every freaking time he's like doing anything? He's like constantly fiddling with a radio dial or something.
I guess he's adjusting his radar or his tracking. I don't know. That's
because he probably doesn't use any tracking since he's got the Force.
That's true.
And is he dialing in his steering? Like, couldn't he have fixed this beforehand? It's so weird.
Yeah.
It is a weird...
And it's probably the same shot they just used over and over. Because he's literally doing the same knob turning every time.
It's probably one of those that they tell David Prowse, the actor, like, okay, you're flying in this, TIE fighter. Just act like you're shooting down someone or play with the controls. It's probably just someone not really knowing what to do performance-wise. Like, what do I do with my hands? So, because it's an action scene, but it's so
he's constrained to a tiny little...
Yeah, what can you do in that little...
It was just an odd choice to keep fiddling with a knob while you're trying to shoot people.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. Is he trying to get a rockin' radio station on?
I need to listen to some sweet jams as I'm mowing down rebel scum.
Yeah, it was just an odd thing I noticed. It made it look like Darth Vader had OCD. Every time he shoots somebody down, he's got to fiddle with a knob.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe he's keeping a tally. Just
that's a good. I like that.
One extra kill.
Nice. I like that. Good call.
Yeah.
I knew we'd figured it out.
The trench run, scene itself is pretty excellent. And I like that we start off with a bunch of X-Wing pilots and, one at a time they just start getting picked off left and right by...
Yeah. It's basically just Vader and his posse.
Yeah. And I like how the tension ramps up as, basically as Luke loses everybody. It gets... tension ramps up really nicely as he's left on his own. It's just him versus, Vader and the Death Star itself.
And then, what's his face? Obi-Wan gets on the CB and tells him not to use that radar, use the Force. Because,
Use the Force, Luke. Let go.
The Force is strong in this one.
Luke, trust me.
I'm going to trust voices in my head at a critical moment like that.
Yeah.
Funny you said on the CB, because I just noticed for the first time watching it last time, which is amazing, he actually, when Obi-Wan starts talking, he touches his ear, like he doesn't know where it's coming from. Like he thinks, I've never noticed that before. It was really funny that he thinks that's coming through the radio.
I always wonder about that, because he, right after Obi-Wan dies, he hears, Obi-Wan say, "Run, Luke, run." And I always think that Luke probably just imagined that, like he doesn't...
It was trauma.
Yeah. But I do like that he touches his ear, like, is this real? What?
Say, if it was over the radio, he would have said, breaker, good buddy. Trust the Force there, Luke. That'll be in my Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Skywalker's already a CB name.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Skywalker. Is this Rubber Ducky?
Smelly dog, come back.
See. Oh, man, I want a CB now.
Yeah.
So I can talk to people on the road. Oh, that's probably just truck drivers looking for some action.
Yeah.
They mention Wedge Antilles, my favourite minor character in Star Wars.
Yeah.
His name is Wedge.
Wedge Antilles, yeah.
Wedge
Red
Antilles.
2, I believe in this one, isn't it? Red 2.
Yeah, and he's one of those that it's nice that he escapes with his life. He gets some damage, but...
He's the only person in the original trilogy to survive all 3 space battles.
Yeah.
Wow.
And, not that it matters, but the actor, Dennis Lawson, is cousins or somehow related to Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, he's Ewan McGregor's uncle.
Uncle, yeah. So, nice little prequel and original trilogy connection behind the scenes.
And hates Star Wars more than anyone on the planet.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He told Ewan McGregor not to do it because it would ruin his
life. Oh, wow.
And,
yeah. And it has.
Dennis Lawson, he's doing all right. He's on TV here. He's got a...
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, aside from this, I don't know that I've ever seen him in anything.
Nah, he
may have, but...
He's in a Scottish film called Local Hero, I think. I get that mixed up with another film. It might not be in that. But I think that's where the one he's in. And he's in a TV show, a British TV show called Old Tricks. Where it's let him and a bunch of other old actors play old detectives.
Oh, cool.
Huh, right on.
Rebel base in range.
You may fire when ready.
I'm surprised, once you get down to the end of the trench run, it feels like it's been going on for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's easily a solid 15 minutes of just Death Star battle.
Yeah, it's almost the same amount of time that it takes the Death Star to get into alignment.
Almost.
30 minutes, it feels like.
Yeah.
But then it's like once Han returns, it's over immediately. You know, he takes out the one TIE fighter and
and then they run into each other, and then Darth gets knocked off into
what?
Didn't sense that with the Force, did you? Yeah. Yes.
But that is one of the best like hero returns ever.
Definitely.
Han flying in.
I have you now. What?
Yahoo! Look out! You're all clear, kid. Now let's blow this thing and go home.
Did he yeehaw?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's more of a Yahoo.
Oh, Yahoo.
There's a big difference, Patrick.
There's a little country western going on there.
I'm telling you, he's a trucker.
He is.
Well, my headcanon on that is that it's Chewie who's just moaning at them the whole way when they're leaving, saying we shouldn't have left, we need to go back.
And it's such a letdown when he does leave, because you want him to take part in this, end fight. Obviously knowing he returns, it's set up well, but it is kind of disappointing when initially he's leaving the battle.
So in your headcanon, that makes Chewie like Han's annoying wife. It's like, Han, go back.
Yeah.
You're being a jerk. All right, damn it. I'm going back.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
His hairy wife.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, no, it gets explained that he has a family later in that Christmas special.
Yeah.
I was going to say, could Chewie be a woman?
Chewie has a family.
Okay.
What's his son is Lumpy. What's the wife's name?
Mala,
yeah.
Whoa.
And then there's his uncle Itchy, or
I don't know what relation he has. I don't know if it's ever said. Yeah, Itchy.
So Lucas took a break on these names then.
Yeah.
I don't think he did. No, there's they have like full names, and they're like the Chewie version of it.
Right. Yeah, they're more nicknames. In the
okay.
I know in some of the young adult novels about Star Wars, some of the expanded editions, Chewie's son's named Lobaka. So I don't know if that's Lumpy or if that's his nickname, but I know he does have a son later called Lobaka. But so that's like around the time that Han and Leia have kids and all that. He's running around with them.
So is he like a short Wookiee? Lobaka?
I don't know.
Or he's just depressed. He's like the Eeyore of... he's like...
Wouldn't have worked anyway.
That's pretty much all I had, other than that Chewbacca gets the shaft with the medal ceremony.
Yeah.
He's just standing there awkwardly. It's like, I didn't get a medal, but they let me stand up here.
Yeah. I either read it somewhere, or I'm pretty sure I read it somewhere, that Wookiees don't place value in trophies or medals or any kind of like material signs of...
But he's a smuggler?
Well, I mean, he places value in things, but like the Wookiee culture, they don't put value in awards.
Okay.
Signs of, I guess.
That's convenient.
It is. It's completely convenient. Probably someone said, oh, that's why he didn't get a medal, because, everyone's like, well, why didn't Chewie get a medal?
Sounds like he's the one that talked him into going back.
He's the real hero.
Jeez. Well, to be fair, he does rip people's arms off.
Yeah.
Which is another scene I like, where C-3PO's like, let the Wookiee win.
Yeah. It always bugs me. Like, why would Chewbacca want to play a game, knowing that he's going to win?
Well, R2-D2's cool, though. He doesn't have arms.
Yeah, he's fine.
It's not like it would hurt.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, I mean, we know 3PO feels pain.
Yeah.
Like
I just thought his programming
fear.
Was weird.
Yeah.
Because, the whole time, he's like a nervous Nelly. Like, oh, no, blah, blah, blah. But he's a robot.
Yeah.
You can get ahead of it, but there is some stuff suggesting that droids feel pain in Return of the Jedi.
Oh, yeah. There's some torture. Yeah.
Well, what is his face? The robotic guy with the 4 arms.
Grievous?
Yeah. Because he's pretty much robot for the most part.
Yeah, he was like an early, precursor to Vader being like kind of that blend of organic and
mechanical
animatronic robot. Yeah, I like leaving Vader like on his own at the end of the movie because it's a good like loose end that.
Yeah, it's weird. He's not even the bad guy in this movie.
No, I mean it's really Tarkin. He's but I like that they end the movie with a vague like you don't know what's going to happen with Vader. He just flies off, and of course the destruction of the Death Star itself is a great moment of Luke using the Force and all that.
And I've come to a understanding that Luke's feelings towards Leia are more brotherly than unbrotherly.
Yeah, it's played up in like media and just in
because I could see it as him watching out for her, not
there's
necessarily
real romantic.
I mean, it's weird when he she kisses him on the cheek, he gets like flustered, but I think that's just because he's a young pup.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't think it was as dirty as it's led to.
No.
Well, there's a bit more in Empire.
Yeah, in Empire there's a little more like.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm
weird,
thinking of.
But no, in here it's all.
Because I love it innocent. When Han's like, maybe. He's like, no.
I like that moment. Well, I don't know. You think a princess and a guy like me? No.
Cold-blooded.
Yeah. Because the real third act is over with the destruction of the Death Star, and I like that we get another little bonus kind of wrap-up scene with them, the medal ceremony.
Yeah. It's kind of weird when they all come back after the battle, and they're all like arm in arm, and it's very, I don't know, it seems odd to me.
Yeah, I call that the Wizard of Oz scene.
Yes, exactly what I was going to say.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh, I never...
Like, I was just waiting for him to start skipping.
Yeah.
Huh. They do kind of all like arm in arm. They'll head off into the when it transitions into the medal ceremony.
Chewbacca is just standing behind them.
Yeah, poor Chewie.
Yeah. Or in the
closing phases.
The wrap up portion of the show. I mean, I don't know what else we can specifically talk about as far as the notes. So,
do you want to do most heroic, most villainous?
Yeah. So for this segment, we're going to talk about.
We'll probably have some overlap.
Oh, I'm sure. Most heroic and most villainous. So why don't we start with our guest? Well, Rory, what's your most heroic moment or moments?
My most heroic moment would be Han returning. I think coming back into the fight.
Okay.
Yahoo. That's the moment always you want to cheer for. It's always exciting returning.
Because you almost forget about him.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much going on that you legitimately think, how is Luke going to get out of this one?
Yeah.
That's a good one, yeah.
The one I had wasn't a Yahoo moment, but it, I don't know, it's when you find out that Leia lied.
Okay, yeah.
And that's a pretty noble, heroic moment to, try to pull one over and save both your planet and the rebel base at the same time. But obviously the Han one is the main one.
No, I think that's a good one. I'm glad we all have different ones because mine is Obi-Wan sacrificing himself,
Yeah.
And I mean, based on kind of what we talked about, maybe it's not a true sacrifice because he knows there's no risk, I guess. But I like that moment. That to me is like the big.
So you're saying he's old and has nothing to live for, so he's like,
got nothing to lose. No, I just that one really, But one of my runner-up is like R2, like just being headstrong and being very willful. Like he has a mission to complete and he's going to carry it out.
Yeah.
But then it's like, is that programming or is that his determination? So.
Yeah, without him, there is no movie.
Yeah, yeah. You guys have any other like runner-ups or?
Leia taking charge of the rescue as well, fighting the escape, and shooting her way out.
And there's the obvious, Luke saving the day, shooting the. I mean, taking out the Death Star. That's an obvious. He uses the Force. He trusts us.
Yeah, the Force did that. The Force did that. The true hero is the Force.
Yeah.
And villain.
Yeah. Well, then the real heroes are those two officers that let the escape pod go.
So you want to move on to villainous?
Yeah. It's probably going to be the same for all of us.
Well, yeah. I mean, you got to go with blowing up the planet.
That's what I had. Tarkin destroying Alderaan.
I had Tarkin as well, but a different one. I had him refusing to leave in his moment of triumph.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Okay.
I felt like
I like that moment.
Yeah, he showed off his character where he still believes he's winning.
Yeah.
And the odds are against him. Everyone else is leaving, and he's so confident that he's won.
Yeah. I do like that he shrugs off the, I think it's Mahdi again saying, we've analyzed their attack pattern. And I like that it dawns on someone, like, I think I know what they're trying to do. Like, maybe we should be worried, but yeah, that is a good moment.
I'm guessing he's the one that forgot to put the part on.
Yeah. Bad time to bring it up, but I think...
we had analyzed this. Totally didn't do this on purpose, but this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Mine, for villainous, I'm trying to think if there's any other... I don't know if it's villainous, but it was awesome and badass, the Force choke.
Yeah, that's a good one. Then you have just Vader torturing or implying torture, kind of with Leia in the prison cell.
Yeah, the scary needle orb.
Yeah,
that thing was shaky as hell.
Yeah, it always bothers me now, like seeing it's weird seeing like real Earth, because it's a real syringe. It's a real like medical syringe that would exist in our world. And there's only so many examples in the Star Wars universe of things that exist in our world, and that syringe is one of them. It's, that needle.
And that was a long, long time ago. We still use it today. That still screws me up.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so first movies were a long, long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Then the new prequels were a long, long time ago. And now we're back to 30 years after this late series.
Yeah.
And, God, too much jumping around. So what's a long, long time?
Yeah.
That's my question. Is what's going on in the new movies happening now? Which brings me back to Spaceballs.
Oh, God.
Where you fast forward, and they fast forwarded too far. And they were in now. Yeah, it holds up.
Uh-huh.
I swear, last one. Last Spaceballs reference.
Let's see. Let's move on to what holds up.
Well, the score.
Yeah.
Score for sure, yeah. For me, the miniatures and the matte paintings.
Yeah.
Like, you've got a lot of the interiors of the Death Star are matte paintings that, like when you see down, like the deep trenches and stuff like that. The trench that they swing across, like all of that.
Oh, cool.
Most of that is all painting, and that stuff holds up really, really well. And then obviously, like the sets that they build for the trench run, like all that stuff's practical. All the ships and like I said earlier, the sandcrawler, like all those little pieces, and it's shot really well because it looks larger than life, and the scale is really well executed. So
yeah. I had something similar down. I had the costumes, like the full body practical costumes, like Chewbacca and Vader and the droids. I feel still look great. Like especially C-3PO, I think. Still looks fantastic.
It is kind of hard to wrap your head around someone being small enough to fit into. I mean, thin enough to fit into that C-3PO costume.
Well, they just didn't feed him for weeks.
Yeah.
That's how we did it back in the old days.
Yeah.
No, you're too big, huh? All right, no more food for you. I think the other one that I liked, like that holds up, is lightsaber and the blasts. like from the blaster rifles. Yeah. I mean, it's not bad. I mean,
yeah, I'm always surprised when I watch the Blu-rays that they don't redo the lightsaber effects.
Yeah,
because it's not fully necessary. I don't know if you want
to touch that.
Sure,
because it might piss people off.
Yeah,
but I mean, considering this is 1977. Mm-hmm. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, it's hard to wrap my head around how they did it originally.
Yeah,
that would have blown my mind in the 70s if I was around.
I think the only real change is they made Obi-Wan and Luke's blades a little more blue, because in the original version, when you see like the rougher footage, it's a very white light.
Yeah.
So that's the only, I think, touch up they've done to that over the years. But it definitely still, yeah, you're right. The blaster bolts and things like that hold up pretty well.
I'm just trying to think, like the last laser I saw was in that Man with the Golden Gun, where you didn't see like
the kind of heat wave type thing,
which was done well.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, considering it's an imaginary weapon, that's what I would expect a laser blast to look like.
And the editing, when it hits something, there's a little explosion,
or a spark,
Yeah, it's impressive, yeah.
And it's cool when he can deflect.
Yeah.
Like, especially that little training
guy.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. I mean, obviously the flying around the training thing's a little, herky-jerky, kind of odd looking, but it pulls it off.
Yeah, for me, it does it in a way where the movement looks realistic enough that it would be real choppy, up, down, left, right, very stop motion kind of look to it.
Oh, I think we all know what doesn't hold up.
Yeah, what doesn't hold up.
And they put in the 90s is where the problem is. I think.
Yeah, the special editions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we pretty much covered that one.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, and not all of them are terrible. Like I said, the X-Wings later on, those hold up. But it's so weird that something that, in 97 when it was brand new, it's like, oh, wow. These creatures look so real, but now they just look so cartoony.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a unfortunate aspect of this version. And
there's another horrible one where the troopers are riding these sand lizards.
Yeah,
towards the beginning.
Dewbacks, yeah.
The dewbacks.
Sand lizards.
Yeah. Well, they're in sand. They're giant lizards.
Yeah.
Screw you guys.
I like that we're making fun of Patrick for being less of a nerd than we are.
Oh, how the tides have turned on me.
Yeah. Anyways.
This was high school. I'd be like, go back to your nerd cave, nerd.
Yeah.
Because, it was awesome at cut down by saying nerd over and over again.
So as you were saying,
sand lizards,
sand lizards, But I think a lot of those are.
It was just another unnecessary. Like, it always felt like they were like, look at this.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a throwaway. Like, there was no purpose to it.
Yeah.
Other than to say, look what we can do.
And that's the special editions in a nutshell. It's look what we can do. So now let's make the Phantom Menace.
Because even with the prequels, I didn't like. There's this, I think it's in the second one, where they have a chase scene that reminds me of The Fifth Element.
Yeah.
And it's just like, how much crap do you want to put into this thing?
It's a little distracting, There's so much going on, so many lights and moving things,
So it's like they continued on with that over-the-topness of special effects.
Yeah.
But,
and not too, I have one, thing that doesn't hold up, but only slightly, and it's beyond the special editions. But some of the explosions from the practical explosions from the original version, some of those don't hold up, but that's such a minor thing, So I didn't want to only pick on the special edition as far as what doesn't hold up.
There's one little bit from just after that. Scene where he's training against the remote, when he puts the lightsaber away, there's a very obvious jump cut that they've left.
Yeah,
they did that with the Han and Greedo, where they jump cut it to make it look like Greedo shot first.
Right, yeah.
So I was like, wait, what? Because I paid attention to that moment, and I was like, whoa. So that makes me think Han shot first, because it was cut to make it look like Greedo shot first.
Such a bad,
and not done well.
No.
Like, I'm pretty sure at one point Han's leg disappeared in the shot. Like, it was that bad of a cut.
Weird.
Like, there was something about it that I noticed, wow, that's awful.
It's jarring, yeah.
His neck moves a really weird way.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah. It's like he moves 2 inches to the right or left.
Yeah.
But I think that's done to make it look like he dodged the shot. Yeah.
I don't know why Lucas and Spielberg like to mess with their movies.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to bring up Spielberg messing with E.T.
Right.
And putting walkie-talkies in the hands instead of shotguns.
I've always...
Because they're all holding their walkie-talkies
as if
they were a shotgun. So it's really weird.
Yeah.
It's like, hold, we have walkie-talkies, you can't move. Not shotguns, which were way cooler. It's not like they shot anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, they're agents. They're not... they're supposed to have weapons.
Yeah.
But they do that, like... I don't know if they've done that with Indiana Jones, though, other than Crystal Skull.
I don't think they've altered... No.
I think maybe that was a rumor, and it never actually... Because it was talked about around the time, late 90s.
Mm-hmm.
I remember somebody talking about them. Maybe they were going to revamp Indiana Jones with some special effects, but I think it was so mixed reviewed on Star Wars that maybe they axed that before they got into it. But people still went to see it.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, I think that's about all I had for... doesn't hold up other than the fight scene with Vader. And, I mean, it just wasn't as exciting to me.
Yeah, it's definitely not...
Not that I want it to be flip-tastic like it is in the prequels, but it was slow and methodical. It wasn't like, Fast and Furious, like two legendary knights.
It doesn't look like two masters at the peak of their... But
they're both wicked old at this point. So.
Well, that, even Vader has restrictions. Like, he can't lift his arms past his, his neckline because of that.
He's like the Batman of the Star Wars universe.
The suits are so restrictive that,
I don't know. It would have been cool if he could, adjust his arm length because it's robotic.
Now you're getting into Grievous territory. Yeah. Now you're sounding like George Lucas.
That would have been cool.
All right, you guys want to move into our pros and cons? And
Rocket Fist.
Oh, yeah, that would have been a nice...
Sorry, my brain was still on how to make Darth Vader cooler.
Rocket Fist. Go, Gadget, Rocket Fist.
Oh, yes. Go, Gadget. Yeah, I guess RoboCop, Go, Gadget, Inspector Gadget, and Darth Vader. Top 3 robot humans.
Oh, my God.
Well, I guess Gadget wasn't a human since he was a cartoon. He's not real like RoboCop and Darth Vader.
Yeah. That's good logic.
Yeah, that sounds right. That's solid. That's why there's a comedian that talks about, the new Star Wars movies coming out.
Yeah.
And being in the theater and hearing nerds go, fake, when they saw, a CG scene.
Oh, okay.
And then, the guy was like, yeah, because everything else is so real.
Right.
It's like, yeah. All this is fake.
Mm-hmm.
But certain things stand out more than others.
I'll start with pros. The story, the classic hero's journey with a little bit of the mystical force element added for me as a pro.
I can see that. It's kind of got what should we call it? It kind of reminds me of, I'm sure it's been brought up before, but King Arthur and Merlin.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. Obi-Wan's Merlin.
Legend.
He's a wizard in this case.
Yeah.
With his force, and Luke's King Arthur, the sort of chosen one.
Yeah, no, that's a good... I probably haven't heard that comparison before. But...
I actually heard that for the first time yesterday when I was watching it.
Oh, really?
Something about Star Wars, yeah. I hadn't heard it before, but I just heard more so in relation to The Force Awakens, but also with this.
Yeah, I heard The Force Awakens is pretty similar to this movie.
Yeah, it is. It's similar in a lot of ways to the original trilogy as a whole. It has the first act is a lot like Star Wars, and then the second act is closer to Empire, and then the third act is a lot like Jedi.
Oh, okay.
In ways.
Yeah, because that's one of the things I heard is it's basically like a reboot of...
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
But it feels like Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know,
well, I mean, it makes sense that it is kind of a reboot because they're rebooting the Jedi.
Yeah. Who else has a pro?
It's Tad that sets up this fascinating world that you want to know more about, obviously.
Yeah.
It's just, you hear little bits and pieces of it, and you learn more, you learn about the Force, and everything's really interesting in this world that we're introduced to.
There's definitely, you're left with wanting to know, where did that Dianoga come from?
Yeah.
No, you're not.
You're right. There's a reason that this story led to so many, novels and comics and other stories being told, and it's, I can't imagine a world where this movie just came and went and nothing else really happened with it. It wasn't. Like I said earlier with the music, it transcends this movie.
Yeah.
So are you saying this wasn't intended to be a sequel? Like, because it leaves you hanging. Like,
sure,
it's meant to be. And
in a weird way, it could work as a standalone movie because it wraps up. I mean, the only loose end, like I said, was Darth Vader.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it has a satisfying conclusion that if this had been the only Star Wars movie ever, still would have kind of worked.
I would have been disappointed because he never becomes a Jedi.
Sure. There's definitely room.
I mean, he hears voices, but I don't know if that's the Force or not.
Yeah.
Lucas claims he always had a 9-part story or whatever.
Yeah.
He changes his story.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
It felt like there's a lot more to be told at the end of this, and I was trying to think of it as a standalone, and that would have sucked.
Yeah.
That would have been like, hey, what the hell? Yeah. There's all this stuff that I want to know.
Yeah.
Like what Rory's getting at is it gets you invested in this universe, and you want to know more about it.
Yeah. I mean, say what you will about George Lucas, but, he borrowed elements from other, influences like Akira Kurosawa and played things like that. And just the hero's journey is not an original idea. So he definitely used that, but added his own, spin to it that, he changed, cinema forever. He changed storytelling. I mean, so many things have come from Star Wars that,
Well, I feel like it mainstreamed sci-fi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At a certain point, obviously not at this point, probably yet, but it became a cultural phenomenon and made science fiction not just like a B movie.
Sure.
Well,
and
did that too, to a lesser extent, probably, but
yeah, I mean, and also you came up, as that fantasy element. It's very not
you don't
medieval.
Fantasize about apes?
Well.
So I'm the only one. All right.
Yeah. Anybody else got any pros?
I'd say it's sort of an in-betweener for me. It could be either or, pro or con, but the pacing.
Okay.
I like that it was fast-paced, it's action,
yeah.
But at the same time, I felt like it went way too quick.
Okay.
Like he was ho-humming about going, then he's in the midst of a battle, then he's taking down a Death Star. Like, that's a lot in a couple days.
That's true, yeah.
Or however long this is supposed to take.
Yeah.
Because, like, it escalated quickly for Luke.
Yeah.
He went from picking parts to taking down a Death Star in, like, a matter of a week.
Yeah.
Which is impressive. But as a movie, it was paced well, but as the story, it was paced so freaking fast.
Yeah.
Like, you could have stretched that out over a couple movies, probably.
That's it's a good point.
I mean, I don't know what the time frame is, because they don't really
It's
say.
real vague. I've heard, I've heard that the journey from Tatooine to Alderaan takes like 2 weeks, but we're only shown, it seems like it takes minutes, so it's very vague as far as how long do they travel from point A to point B,
Because Luke doesn't really use the Force other than when he makes the shot, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, well, and his training.
Sure.
He's got the shield blaster thing down.
Yeah.
But there's probably some story behind that helmet. Is that melted too in the new movie?
Yeah. one of those artifacts.
Darth's helmet, and then you got Luke's training helmet.
Guess you'll have to wait and see.
They both have mystical powers that you can't fathom. I feel like the podcast has taken longer than it took Luke to get to the Death Star.
There's gold here, Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's wrap it up with our cons, and then I think we're going to be done.
Yep.
Rory, you want to kick us off with the con?
Yeah, some pieces of the dialogue aren't great, is my main con.
Sure.
Sometimes, and I'm so used to them that I don't often think about them, but a line like, I was going to go to Tashi Station and pick up some power converters is a bit... it's not great writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't understand why that was something he was looking forward to.
I know, that...
Isn't that boring out there?
Well,
That's the line. I couldn't remember it. Of course you guys would know it.
Well, yeah.
You probably have a t-shirt without it. Just Luke whining and that phrase being above his
I went to Tashi Station and all I got were these lousy power converters.
There's the gold you were looking for right there.
Yep. One of my cons is that I wish Leia had something to do in the final battle. Like, she's really just in the
but it'd be weird that a princess would know how to do some, combat battle.
I don't know. I mean, but it just, all she does, the only thing she has to do is look concerned and, watch or monitor the progress of the battle. So it's...
Jeez, what more can she do?
I don't know.
She's already snuck the plans. She's masterminded this whole thing. She's the brains.
Yeah.
Luke's the brawn, I guess. Although not physically, but...
Right.
So I think Leia could take him in a fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always thought of her as the mastermind.
Okay.
And Luke and Han are her minions.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good way to look at it, yeah.
You're right, though, she hardly has any dialogue or anything from that point. It's just she's standing there.
I don't think she says anything during the battle. She just a bunch of facial expressions and I do like when
they need to get her a cat to stroke.
Yes.
And sit in a chair. Yes, Luke, trust the Force.
I always like there's a moment during the battle. Oh, it's when R2 gets hit.
Oh, yeah.
And it cuts to, C-3PO is, and it's weird to say this, he looks concerned. Because he looks to Leia, and I like that she doesn't react. She doesn't, to her, R2... Yeah. To her, R2 is expendable. But to C-3PO, it's that's my little buddy, Yeah. So I like that determination on her face, and then he, realizes that she doesn't have any sympathy. She even says previous that when Dodonna welcomes her to the rebel base, he says, when we heard about Alderaan, we feared the worst, and she says, we'll grieve later. She just lost her home planet, her family, friends, everyone, but
she can decompartmentalize. Just put things into boxes and close them up in the Force.
Yeah. Just push those feelings down.
That's right. And then it'll come back and she'll turn evil.
Yeah. So I would have liked to see her do something, and this is all hindsight. When you're wrapped up in the moment, you don't think about that. But it's one of those, looking back, it's, But, I guess the one thing they could have done would be make her more of a strategist and actually telling people or communicating more like a general would. But we'll get
you already
to that,
got, a military setup, so...
Right, the plan's already been established, so I guess,
she was more of I guess she was more of an espionage kind of spy, getting plans to whoever needed to do the actual battle strategy. I don't know, there's not much, story that I know beforehand.
Okay.
So I don't know if, she's... Because to me, she's just a princess.
Right.
But she seems to be a little bit more than that.
Yeah,
But how much more, I don't know.
Okay, yeah. And that's one of those things, later this year, or in December, right? Or November, we get Rogue One. December? Okay. Yeah. We get Rogue One, which is going to be the story of the spies that obtained the Death Star plans. So it's another prequel, which I know makes people a little nervous, but...
Well, when it turns out the spy's like, Misa spy!
Oh, shit.
Worst spy ever. Jar Jar
Or
Binks.
best spy ever.
Well, in the cartoon, he's sort of bumblingly awesome.
Yeah.
He comically stumbles and then accidentally blows up something.
Right.
Also on episode 1 as well.
Episode 1, yeah.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Maybe I blocked that out of it.
That's most of what he does.
Pretty much
blowing up droids.
Yeah.
I just think of the first one as a Pod Racer video game commercial that lasted too long. So, yeah, I haven't seen the first one probably since it came out.
Okay.
Honestly.
Well, that'll be a nice revisit for you. For me, there's a lot about Phantom Menace that holds up. So
I think I just remember being scarred by the whole experience.
Sure.
I'm sure it's not as bad as I have in my head.
Yeah.
It's just since then I've heard so much hate.
Pop culture makes it sound a lot worse. And I'll say this now, compared to, I'll watch Phantom Menace over Attack of the Clones any day.
Yeah, same here.
Attack of the Clones is much worse than...
Isn't that the one that's drawn out into politics?
Yep.
Phantom Menace has a lot of politics, but like Rory just said, Attack of the Clones has a lot of romance and a lot of...
Yeah.
That's when the relationship between Anakin and Padme gets crammed down our throats. Yeah.
Because isn't he 8 when she meets him or something?
Yeah.
She's 17 or 16.
I think she's going to be 14.
Oh, she's supposed to be 14.
Okay. Originally, he was cast or supposed to be 12.
Ah.
So the age difference wouldn't have been that bad.
Okay.
But when they cast Jake Lloyd, he was 7 or 8, and I think they changed it, but they didn't change the story. So it is,
It's like he got busy with his babysitter.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
And there's none of that in Phantom Menace, so that's okay. But then when you see them later on, there's a much bigger age difference, but I don't know, it's strange. But
so they get busy in the third one to make Luke and Leia.
Right.
So if he's using the Force while getting busy with his lady,
okay.
Is there some gray area that he's forcing himself on?
Did he mind... what's it called?
He's like, this is the junk you're looking for. I'm just saying, the Force and forcing somebody into something,
Yeah, but the...
Because he turns on her on a dime.
Sure.
He's like, oh, screw you. You're dead to me now.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's some...
we'll have to...
There's some gray area
We'll have to look at that,
We need to find out. I don't trust people with the Force.
Right. Well, like I said...
it only works on weak-minded people, right? So
yeah.
She's very strong-willed, right?
Yeah.
So I think we're okay then. Just checking.
Yeah. No, you're good.
I mean,
Thanks for looking out.
We're getting into weird territory with the age thing, and then he's got mystical powers. She doesn't.
Right.
Or maybe she does. I don't know. Since they have really strong Force babies.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they call me the derailer.
Let's see. I'm out of notes, really. So.
Yeah, me too.
Unless you guys have anything else to add to Star Wars.
Do the ratings?
Yeah. That's the last thing, I think.
So how many midichlorians do you give this one?
Well, personally, I will give it 5 midichlorians out of 5.
Oh.
I'm not even gonna... I don't feel like I even need to justify that.
I don't think I could...
give it...
Sorry.
Oh, sorry, go Rory.
I don't think I could give it anything less than 5, but can't see how I could.
Yeah.
Let's see, can I give a negative amount of stars?
I just felt like ripped off Spaceballs a bit too much.
Yeah.
Okay, first off, there was no half man, half dog. Totally disappointed. Darth's helmet was way too small. No, I'd give this... I'm giving it a 4.5 just because of the version we watched.
Okay.
It sucked that they messed with it. I wish I could have seen the original because I was too young to remember in great detail the original version. And the parts that they plugged in here were jarring enough that I noticed and took me out of it.
Okay, that's a fair point. And I guess it's a good thing to point out that, we have to judge this based on the special edition, not
because I can't remember the original.
That's a fair point, yeah.
And it was enough of a notice that I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wait, I'm sitting in my underpants watching this. I'm not flying in a starfighter, Death Cruise battleship. So if it makes me realize that I'm back in my couch,
right? Yeah.
Bad on you, movie.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
But it's still an awesome movie.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I mean, it made me want to see the next one, but now I gotta wait.
Yeah.
So I'm probably gonna have to watch 5 more James Bond movies before the next one.
It's I think it's not that big of a gap, but it'll be we've got a bunch of movies between now and Empire, but they're not all Bond movies. We're starting to get into
Flash Gordon.
Is that? I'll have to check. I think that was like the 80s, so we're close, but
yeah, that might have been like 81 or something. I enjoyed this because it was more action than I remembered.
Okay.
Like for some reason, I thought there was a lot more talking.
Oh, okay.
Maybe because the prequels did that.
It kind of left that impression.
I thought all of the Star Wars movies did that, but yeah, it was more of an action flick than a science fiction movie, I thought.
Oh yeah, like you could, change the scenery and change some of the other elements, and it's just an adventure movie. Yeah. Like this movie could be a Western. It could be, you really take those elements out, set it in any time period, and it still works. I mean, parts are based on Hidden Fortress, which was a Kurosawa, and it's a lot of the same elements. I mean, so the story itself holds up.
Yeah, because I kept thinking this could be a samurai movie.
Yeah. There's a lot of parallels with, even design-wise, I've seen a lot of art, that's, you change a few things, and Vader looks very much like a feudal Japanese warlord.
Yeah, the helmets.
Yeah. So.
Plus you got the lightsabers, which are basically fancy samurai swords.
Swords are always awesome.
Now with the samurai sword, with the lightsaber, I know it's like encased in something, like to keep the energy plasma or whatever the hell it is. Isn't there like a force field around it or something?
I don't know what the official reason is. I always thought
you had to have the force to use it.
But
I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, because Han uses it later.
Does he? Okay.
Yeah. I think it's all in how you construct the lightsaber. As long as you build it properly, it'll work perfectly.
Because I always wondered if you could shoot laser blasts out of it.
Right.
Or something.
I don't think so.
Because you can adjust the length of it.
Yeah.
Like the beam or whatever. Yeah. Okay, just curious. Random. I figured if anyone knew this
well, and I think it's
group would know.
A lot of people were speculating, like with Force Awakens, why Kylo Ren's lightsaber is so raw. It's because he didn't properly build it, because he doesn't know.
He's winging it.
Yeah, I mean, his training ended abruptly, and he threw it together, I guess, a little hastily. So that's why it's.
Oh, I thought it looked pretty badass in the preview.
Oh yeah,
the guard on it. And
I like the cross guard on it. Yeah.
But that would make it kind of unwieldy if you wanted to spin the thing.
Yeah.
If you have a guard there ready to slice your wrist off. Because it makes it more like a broadsword.
Right.
When you have a guard like that. Or it's almost like a two-handed weapon instead of a normal
like
one-handed.
Katana. Yeah.
Like a samurai sword or katana, whatever.
They mostly use them two-handed though. Like in this, Obi-Wan uses his two-handed.
Yeah.
Luke does the full time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I always think of it as a
lot of the prequels. You have a lot of one-handed.
I remember it spinning around a lot, so I always think of it that way. I think they like to hear that noise. That
yeah, that's another thing about this movie. The sound design is awesome.
Yeah. Okay, I sidetracked this again.
No. I guess just wrapping up the ratings, that gives us because of Patrick gives us a 4.8333333, which
don't blame me, blame Lucas for fiddling with his stuff.
And because of that, Planet of the Apes still remains our highest rated movie.
Ooh, all right.
I think we both gave it. Well, maybe not.
I didn't give it a 5. I've never given anything a 5.
Then I think it might have a 4.5 then.
Okay.
Let me just check real quick.
So take that. I'm not a total a-hole. Survey says maybe
we gave Goldfinger a 4.5.
Ooh.
We gave Apes a 4.5. So okay, this is our highest rated movie. I can sleep comfortably tonight.
See, I only go in half stars. I don't go 0.75 stars.
Yeah.
So I had to knock it a half a star for the weird Jabba scene and random bits of sand lizard work.
Well, that will wrap up Star Wars. Let's see. We should do
A New Hope.
That will wrap up A New Hope. Yeah. So, thanks for joining us, Rory. Why don't you go ahead and let people know where they can find you and what your show's about.
Sure. I do reviews of things to watch and do with The Hangover, mostly movies. I've done both Star Wars trilogies and the holiday special pretty recently. You can go check them out on YouTube. And you can find me on Twitter at Hangover Reviews, Facebook Hangover Reviews. I think that's it. What else have I got? I've got Instagram at Hangover Reviews. You can get me at any of those places if you have something to say.
And you do, you take suggestions and people can send in kind of what they want you to review. And
yeah, absolutely. I'm always looking for suggestions, things that you like to watch with The Hangover or you want to make me watch with The Hangover. Send them to any of those places I mentioned.
I can vouch for the show. It's really entertaining, and I like how it's a quick show. I like YouTube videos that don't don't consume too much of your time, and you get a lot of good information and a lot of entertainment. So
that's
and I can vouch that he'll review anything.
Yeah, Patrick's contribution was Spaceballs.
Yeah.
No surprise.
Go check it out.
Even though he knew it was trash, he still watched it.
To be fair, I didn't really remember it was trash until I watched that again.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
And we found the gold.
All I'm saying is that scene in the desert where they're literally combing the desert.
I do like that scene. That is one of the few jokes that I do like.
Like the two guys with the afro pick.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Man, we ain't found shit."
Yeah.
Thank you. That holds up.
Yeah.
That's a good moment.
All right, now nobody's going to watch it because we spoiled the best part.
Right, yeah, spoiler alert.
So he will take your suggestions even if he thinks otherwise. But yeah, it's a fun show to watch because I usually watch YouTube videos like when I'm getting ready to get my kid to bed at night. Throw in my headphones and read her a story, and then I'll let Rory read me a story on how awesome Spaceballs was. And,
you just watch that episode over and over again.
Yeah. I had to watch it at least 5 times so I could build my hate. It's like, Rory. I like there's it stretches all over the place because you have like the Mike Tyson cartoon thing, and I love the one where they gave him Rory drinks to cure a hangover.
Oh yeah,
that was a nasty one. Oh, I don't know if you want to do any of those anymore.
I'm maybe planning another cocktail episode.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because one of those I can't remember, but I think...
The cherry oyster. Was that a suggestion from a podcast called Let's Drink About It, a cocktail podcast, and they did not let me off the hook on that one.
Nice.
Yeah.
I still like the one you did about the McDonald's episode.
Yeah.
Like, I like that you treated it like you were reviewing a movie. Like,
yeah.
I thought that was pretty clever. So
that was the story behind that episode is I woke up at 4 in the afternoon with no video planned and one of the worst hangovers I've ever had in my life.
Wow.
So, just walked to McDonald's and back and sat in front of a camera while I ate it.
That's funny.
Did 5 minutes of research and it worked. So there's your full disclosure on that one.
Nice.
A little glimpse behind the scenes.
Yeah. And I'm sure, and you don't have to reveal this here, but I'm sure one of the most common questions you get is probably, are you really hungover every time?
Well, that's my secret. I'm always hungover.
Nice.
Right now.
Yeah. We got anything else?
No, just tell them where you can find us, because apparently there's not enough social media out there.
Yeah. On Facebook and Twitter, we're Real Comic Heroes. Email us at realcomicheroes@gmail.com. Let us know your Star Wars story, your favorite moments, and we'll share them next time. Speaking of next time, we're going to jump back into the James Bond waters with The Spy Who Loved Me. So,
Yay?
Yeah, I think there's some stuff that holds up.
Is there? Okay.
Yeah, we'll get there.
I don't think I would have said yes to James Bond if I knew how many there were.
Well, the nice thing is they'll be broken up with. After that, we've got Superman, and then we've got a Captain America TV movie, then Alien, then Moonraker.
Okay.
And then Star Trek, the motion picture, then Superman 2, then Star Wars again. So
wow, yeah, there is quite a bit in between.
Yeah. So there's enough that we're starting to get to that, section where the Bond movies will be broken up quite a bit.
So thank you, Star Wars.
Yeah.
You kicked off a revolution of other than James Bond and Planet of the Apes.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that'll do it for the special episode of Star Wars.
So again, thanks to Rory from Hangover Reviews. So
thanks for having me.
It's exciting having our first guest. So
thanks
for being on the show.
The first guest. So now everyone's got to live up to what you've just laid out there.
Yeah.
Good luck. Wow, cocky.
Don't get cocky.
It's never going to get better than this. I'm waiting for him to drop the mic.
Yeah.
I need to unscrew a lot of stuff.
But yeah, thanks a lot for taking the time to talk about this. I've learned way more than I ever wanted to.
Oh, absolutely. I'll talk about Star Wars any day.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably leave and you guys can keep talking about Stingus Maximus, the monster in the other trash compactor that didn't get to eat anybody. Yeah, I just made that up.
Yeah.
Don't know if you could tell. Stingus Maximus.
You've been reading that fan fiction, haven't you?
Yeah.
Well, all right. We'll sign off and we'll see you next time. And Rory, we'll have you back on the show some other time in the future.
Hope so.
So
until next time.
Thanks, everybody.
It's the biggest. It's the best. It's Bond. And beyond.
James Bond and the woman is Major Masova, Russian agent. Let them get ashore and then kill them.
Watch out!
In our business, Anne, your people get killed. We both know that.
Then, when this mission is over, I will kill you.
Within minutes, New York and Moscow will cease to exist.
Yes, Anne, you're on there.
I know, James. I'm sorry.
I have to get her off.
How?
Well. A British agent in love with a Russian agent.
Your time's running out, Stromberg.
Yours too, Mr. Bond. Yours too.
It's the biggest. It's the best. It's Bond. And beyond.